everyone, we are here today with something a little bit different. We really love hacking patterns. We see that you, our customers, enjoy hacking our patterns as well, and we like to share. Every now and then we have an idea and we're like, let's put it into practice. And you know, it's not like an official version of a pattern, but it's things that come into our head and we think that you might enjoy them, hopefully. So we're in the middle of summer, and so we have all hacked some patterns to make them more summery. Some of them were already a bit summery, but we've gone all in.
Full summer.
Yeah, full
I feel
summer.
like this time of year, I don't know if you guys agree, this is like when I get most inspiration.
Oh yes,
yes.
When I sew the most.
Yeah,
for sure.
exactly. And for like fun fabrics and pattern hacking, definitely. I'm like, right, how can I wear this in the summer?
Interesting.
I don't know, I love a lot of summer patterns. It's like they're quicker.
Yes,
I like that you can make something in the afternoon. It's like, oh, how can I hack it to make it like a really quick make? And
I like that. So if it starts quite easy already, it's got to you, it has even more like hacking potential and stuff like that. That's very interesting. But yeah, so we've all gone in quite different, fairly different directions, I'd say. Why don't we start with yours, because yours is a mashup.
Yes, well, I am back here, another teammates video, another Una dress hack.
You're the queen of the
if you've watched any of our mates videos before, you'll have seen me before in something quite similar, because I love to hack the Una dress. I think this is my 4th hack.
Wow!
That's amazing.
So this is into a sort of wide-legged jumpsuit, if you can see with some
Beautiful.
photos. And I basically just mashed up the Una dress bodice with the ultimate culottes. Trousers,
nice.
my favourite. Basically my favourite 2 patterns, so I'm surprised I've not done it before.
And now it's like a floaty jumpsuit of dreams.
Summer jumpsuit, and it's so comfy and swishy, and I like wearing long, lightweight things in summer.
Yes.
Kind of better than like, I feel like your mind goes like a mini, but actually it's a bit
long and floaty.
I agree.
So cool.
So I feel very comfy. This is actually a wearable toile because I'm making one for a wedding this weekend. Yeah, I thought it'd be a wedding guest outfit, good one for that. But I wanted to check.
Yes,
I've got some very nice fabric for that, and I just wanted to double check. So this is a toile in our Midnight Botanical fabric. You might have seen it before.
That's so beautiful.
Really
It's just
nice.
viscose.
So talk us through, what did you have to change from both patterns?
I took, as I said, the ultimate culottes trousers, and then I decided I wasn't going to put the waistband in because I wanted it to be like just a simple line here.
Yeah.
And then I literally just put them together. So let me show you. I took, this is my ultimate culottes pattern, and I measured along this waist seam here. I took off, I subtracted the seam allowance because Una is cut on the fold, so you didn't want that.
Oh yeah, of course.
Yes.
And then I also subtracted the amount for the dart.
Yes.
And then all I had to do was to make sure that the bodice waist seam matched that measurement.
Because there's no gathering, right?
There's no gathering,
straight.
and there's no bust. There's no dart on Una.
No.
Helpfully on Una the waistline is marked there, so I just added the seam allowance below it because I knew I wanted it to hit exactly on the waist. And that was it. Then I just sewed them both up as per the patterns.
It's so
Put them
good.
together, and then the only difference was that on Una I just left this seam, side seam open to the very end, so I could put a zip that goes all the way up.
Because the Una dress is either fitted with elastic or with
Ties, exactly. But the ultimate culottes already has a zip here.
Fantastic.
And I didn't change anything. I just put the zip into the seam allowance of Una, so they would be quite fitted. That's what I wanted.
So beautiful.
So lovely.
Absolutely
Very
love it.
straightforward.
And very elegant, actually. I know this is your wearable toile, but I'd say that's a very
I feel like I've got it on
classy
trainers
outfit
and I feel comfy, but I feel like at this wedding I'll have heels on, like a more expensive
so
fabric, and it'll be like
amazing.
quite dressy. Thank you.
Love it.
I love it too.
Very successful. And the Una, you are a testament to the versatility of your Una dress.
I should just say one more thing to think about when you're changing something into a jumpsuit is you really want to think about the rise. This is the main reason that I've made a toile for this. I knew that my ultimate culottes, there's quite a lot of room in the rise. So I thought I'd be able to get away with it, and I can, because like, when you sit down and stuff, I don't know how to explain it, but something in jumpsuits, you need more rise.
You need so much more. You need something. I remember talking to Julie, and I think you need at least 7 centimetres.
Whoa,
or it might even
lot.
be 7 inches. Check it out, it's in that fitting jumpsuit
We'll
video.
link to it below. That is a lot, actually.
And you have to, if you're doing it like officially, sort of measure from shoulder right round through back up,
Yes.
and you need a lot of ease for when you're sitting down.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Something skin tight might look amazing when you're stood up.
And then you're like, ooh, sit down.
Yeah.
So yeah, just one thing to think about if you want to do this hack, particularly because you're taking the waistband off, so it is raising it up even more. It's fine for me, I'm happy with it, but I wouldn't want it any less at all. And I'm quite short in the bodice, so just something to think about.
Yeah.
Fair. So just do your tests, do
Yeah,
your
do
twirls.
Lots of sitting,
lots of sitting
and
squatting.
Yeah.
But also just to say that if you make your wearable toile in a nice fabric, you end up with
Turn out this
a
good.
very usable garment. It can turn out so good.
I think you could do a cute little like play
Oh,
suit, right? Do it short.
That's adorable.
Proper summer hack.
Very, very summer. That's so good.
Thanks.
Absolutely love it.
Alma,
Shall we go?
take it away?
Yeah, so I'm in a cord set today that I first thought about in the summer of 2023, if you can cast your mind back. But basically I made this super summery. I'll show you the print because it's all fruity and fun. Fun cotton, and I made our Ruby skirt, which is our free pattern that everyone can get for free when they sign up to our newsletter. We'll put the link below. Ruby is a very, very good skirt all the time, I think, but for summer, for me, it sings.
Perfect.
It's just ideal. And in this cotton, it just looked really, really cute, and I had a bit of fabric left, and last summer I was trying to decide what to make for
I remember you
the
saying
top.
you wanted a cord.
I really, really wanted a cord because this to me screams holiday as well. It's very, very sweet. But I didn't have quite enough fabric to do the penny tie top. That's what I really wanted to do, but when I went to check, sadly, it just wasn't enough fabric. So I just went through a variety of patterns and possibilities, and in the end, summer was over, and the dream died. It was very sad.
There's no point making this in October.
Well, that's the thing. Like, there really is. This skirt, you can't wear it at other times of year. So the moment passed, and now, when the weather got good again, I was like, okay, now I'm going to make that cord. I went with our Maeve blouse, which is a sleeved blouse. And this is something I've been wanting to try for a while. Trying to turn a sleeved pattern into a sleeveless, because it's not as straightforward as you might think.
No.
It really isn't. And
It
so it
seems
was a test.
straightforward, but it's one of the more complicated.
It's one of the more complicated hacks, and it was on my list to try, and I actually used our Ultimate Guide to Sleeves
Oh yes.
class, which is taught by Julie, and it has a whole chapter, a whole lesson on turning sleeveless to sleeved or sleeve to sleeveless. And so I'm glad I did that, because when it started I was like, that is not where I was thinking of starting, like, at all. So there's quite a few changes that you make, and mainly you sort of rotate. I'm going to show you my pattern piece if I can. I'm going to say I made 3 toiles of this. It was not going my way. And I do also generally struggle for some reason. I am very, very lucky in that well, for tops and dresses, I usually fit in a size 10 quite straightforwardly. Very, very lucky with that. Trousers, I do have to change things, but it's always the same thing. Like, I know my go-to alteration, and I'm very used to that, and quite spoiled, I'm gonna say, in that sense, because I'm usually like, okay, I do this, and then it works, perfect. Whereas with sleeveless tops, it's like a lifelong struggle. For some reason, it's kind of this area, and the bust gets involved and everything goes awry.
And that's not just when you're hacking, but that's with sleeveless.
I've used sleeveless patterns from a variety of companies, and I always have issues. I am yet to land on my perfect sleeveless thing. But this one, while I was doing the hack, I thought, well, it's a good test to try and see what's going on. So, yes, let me see this one. Sorry. This is the first alteration of the pattern. So, yeah, basically you rotate. So here I removed quite a lot. You basically raise the armhole, I guess, and you raise it by however much you want. I ended up raising it by 5 centimeters. That is a lot.
That is a lot.
So closing that gap, basically, because in the long sleeve version of the blouse there was basically a lot of excess fabric for me here. So that's what I've done. I've rotated it. So I put a slit there, and you rotate kind of into the dart. So the dart becomes bigger, the bust dart, and you close in that curve. And then I made the shoulders narrower because, again, because it's sleeveless, you kind of want it to end up in a different place than when you've got the sleeve. So all of that I did following the class, and that worked very well in terms of this fitting. And then suddenly I had a lot of space in the bust.
Yeah.
Because you made that bust dart.
Because I made the bust dart bigger, but it just somehow went really off. Like bust darts on the sleeve version, it fits very, very well on me. And suddenly changing that, and that's something to remember when you're hacking. When you're adjusting and hacking, if you're changing one thing, it throws off other things. So I would just recommend going very slowly. And what I started doing, like my second toile, I changed things on the pattern, trying to correct that bust, and that just went even wronger. And I was really, really annoyed at myself. I was like, but it makes sense in my head. This makes sense, and I should fix it.
Like the maths makes sense.
The maths makes sense.
Yeah.
But on the body, it just wouldn't. And so I ended up doing the third toile. It was basically the second toile, but I didn't sew up the dart, and you're going to talk about this in more detail actually, you can demonstrate. But I ended up just wearing it and pinning the thing until the shape made sense. Because I think I love working on paper, I love the maths, and I love it because in the past they've served me well. Like things work out when I do the maths.
You feel like you put the time in, you put the maths in,
like,
it
should come out.
But sometimes it's
just not that, and it's just you have to feel it, and it has to be the fabric, not the paper.
And I also think there are more calculations than you're even take. Like you could take 7 million measurements of yourself in every tiny little place. Obviously, you're not going to do that,
no,
but any one of those could be just throwing it off a bit, and you just don't know where it is.
That's
so sometimes you just
right.
have to pinch it
and pinch it and adjust it. And I also watched, it's a different pattern, but I thought it would be useful to watch our Fitting the Betty dress class with Julie, where Julie fits Betty
on. Just focused around
around this area. That's what I thought, and it is a darted bodice, so I thought that should help. And one thing is that Julie does everything with the fabric, and it's all about the pinning and slashing and. It's all on the person, and I
hard to do that on your own though.
It is hard.
You need another person being like.
You sort of do, yes. It was more about taking away than slashing, I guess. Okay. So for me, so I could do that, and I did. I did manage more or less. No, I think I'm happy with the results. I think it worked. But this is basically my third toile, but I decided that I liked it enough to turn it
So what did you do to remove the excess that you had at the bust?
So I lengthened the dart, and this is something interesting to talk about. Basically, in theory, you want the bust dart point to end, I think it's recommended, an inch away from your apex, which is the fullest part of your bust. Often the nipple. And so that is all the theory in all the books, everywhere I read, that's what they say. But doing that distance on paper, it just looked completely wrong. I was getting a lot of excess fabric around my bust apex.
So you just took it right out,
to the bust point. And that in theory is wrong, but it fits. I cannot tell you how much better it fits than it did, which is confusing to me. But hey, I'm sharing because it must be something about this area, I think, the bust and this curve, if that makes sense, on me, doesn't agree with that rule.
I was thinking because I have the same
similar thing,
with my top. So if I
absolutely.
Just to carry on this conversation, I basically have made a sleeveless shirt out of the Nicole shirt dress pattern.
So good.
So Nicole's got sleeves, it's got short sleeves or long sleeves, so it's quite the same process.
Absolutely.
And if I start with darts, you can kind of see where it is. Oh, it's not too bad. I think I maybe brought it back, but these are much longer because I've got a bigger bust.
Yes.
They would usually be further back.
Yeah, they say minimum an inch, but the bigger the bust, the further away. That's the theory, yes.
And I was just trying on my toile this morning, and I hadn't thought about it before, but I wondered whether actually you might be able to slash through that dart to your centre front and literally pinch out.
Oh.
Maybe even half a centimetre. Because that's what I had as well, is that I had too much volume pointing here.
Okay.
And actually, if I just maybe did that.
That's a good point. Almost
Literally like 10 minutes before we started this, I was like,
it dawned on
that
you.
would have been the next step. I'm happy with my fit.
That looks beautiful. I love it. Also, is it cropped or is it tucked in?
It's tucked in.
It's tucked in, lovely. So where does it end?
So I
lovely.
Oh, I quite like that.
That's
beautiful.
beautiful.
It's also long enough just
to
do a little tie.
That's cute.
Oh, I love that.
Which I really like.
Oh.
So I had a ready-to-wear top like this years ago.
Yeah.
And I've just been wanting one ever since.
And
I love the excuse. And
the colour is what does
shirt
it for me.
collar.
Yeah.
I love a shirt collar.
Yeah.
So
It looks
yes,
so good.
I will show you my pattern. So I used Nicole on the top. So this is a Nicole bodice to here. And then on the bottom I've got Lillian on the bottom.
Yes.
So basically all I did was cut out my size for Nicole.
Yeah.
And popped it on top of Lillian. They both got the waist. Well, the waist of Nicole is it's just a waisted bodice, and then Lillian's got the waist marked on it. So I popped those together.
So handy.
And why did you choose Lillian?
Because it's got the bottom end of a fisheye dart.
So it'd be nice and fitted. Yeah.
So yeah, we've got a waist dart at the top on Nicole, and I wanted that fitted look.
Yeah.
Because
So
it
we've got
brings
a
it
fisheye.
in basically under the bust.
It's
and
more
under the back.
shirty. I think if you just finished it with a dart, it's less
I don't think
shirty,
you-
isn't it? It's
yeah,
not
you
quite.
couldn't.
Can't do that now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I needed something another dart to
Yeah.
basically mirror the volume that was taken away in
Yes.
Nicole.
Yeah.
And Lillian has that. So you can see
I
that.
love that.
So the dart on Nicole is the 18, and that actually matched up with the 20 on Lillian. I don't,
brilliant.
don't
It
care.
matched the position. Brilliant.
Right.
That's
I
lucky.
don't,
choose that,
I
yeah.
don't care that they're different sizes
No.
officially.
Because you want the alignment. That's more important.
Exactly.
So that detail.
And it's the same with the side seam. So the
Brilliant.
18 on Nicole matched with the 16 on Lillian. So,
So Nicole is more fitted, do we think? Is that what it is?
I think so.
Must be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess because on Lillian, the dart does.
That's the fitting.
well, it's the same.
Yeah.
It's just a different style because
Okay.
Nicole
Yeah,
is
yeah.
like
Yeah.
is
waisted
snug.
and
Yeah.
snug. Yeah.
Yeah. And then just had to add a bit of a button placket down to the bottom half of Lillian, and did the same for the back.
Oh, of
so
course,
just
yes.
basically,
Yeah, I
all
should
you're
say I
looking out
did the
for.
same
Same for the
change for the back, raising the armhole and all of that. You did front and back. But
That's
obviously
it,
the
yeah.
front is what gave me grief.
Yeah, no, the back.
So I talked about that.
Lovely.
The back in the first twirl was fine. I was like, done.
So yeah, that's how you kind of do it. If you're, that's the first stage of alterations,
Yeah.
and then obviously, not obviously, but for me, after that, I also went on and did an FBA.
Okay, so interesting. So you've done the hack alterations first,
Yeah,
then the fitting.
that's it.
That's
I kind
good
of felt
to
like I
know.
wanted to get my base pattern.
Yeah.
really, like, and then that's almost a new start. Like this is the
Yes.
pattern I'm using.
Yeah.
Yes.
Now I will make my regular alterations.
I think that's good practice, and then you can isolate the issue.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
true,
exactly.
actually, yeah.
Not trying to do like 12 things at once.
Yeah.
And then you're like, okay, it's wrong, but I don't know
I don't know
why.
why.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, and also just the armhole. I think it's probably similar
You
shape
brought
to
it in.
ours.
Yeah.
Just brought it in quite a lot, so it's
Yeah.
nice and straight there, and then it's quite flat
Yeah.
across the bottom.
Well, it's perfect.
That looks
And then you did
lovely.
binding to finish?
Oh yeah, me too. Yeah,
Binding.
she did
Binding, nice.
binding, which is a lovely finish.
The only other thing I did, if you're thinking of doing the same thing, is I found that Nicole was a lot wider hair than I needed it to be for a
Under.
under the arm
Right,
for a
sleeveless.
sleeveless top. I wanted it more snug, so I did end up taking quite a chunk off there.
Because if you have sleeves, I guess you want the extra room to be able to move in that sleeve,
Exactly,
right? It must be that.
And there's nothing necessary in something sleeved for it to be
No,
snug, but in a sleeveless,
you don't want it gaping.
you don't want it really gaping, so you see all the way down your top.
Yeah.
But I thought I got my toile. that I
Yes,
could
oh,
start.
yeah, I think. Yeah.
So we're back from a little mid.
Yeah. Oh my god, all change.
Yeah,
I'm
mid-change.
lovely, sorry.
So this is
your
my
toile.
toile, my one toile. I think, to be honest, when you're pattern hacking, for me,
Yeah.
toiles are non-negotiable.
Yeah, fair.
And this kind of proves that point, really, is because all the work that I'd done, I ended up with a lot of extra under the armholes, so you can kind of see the amount.
Yeah. And that's so easy. Once you made a 12, fine, just take that out.
Exactly.
Like, it's such
and it
quick.
was like shoulder seams, side seams, darts.
Yeah.
Haven't sewn the button pocket at all, haven't put the collar on. It's so quick to do.
Yeah, you haven't finished any
like
seams or anything. That is quick.
No.
Yeah,
it's a half-an-hour job. So something like that.
So
worth
it.
I love the feeling as well when you've made a 12 and then you go into your final thing and you just like can relax almost. You're like, I know it's gonna work. I don't have to like keep trying it on every stage. Like, is this still fitting?
Absolutely.
Is it not fitting? Like, it's so much calmer.
Exactly. Yeah. So the main thing was as well, like Elma, I
That's
had
exactly what I had.
a dart issue.
Right.
It's pinned a bit funny here, so it's not quite so clear, but it's got a lot going on there. I've got extra up here. So actually, the best thing often to do is just to undo it all that fabric, and then literally just pin it to your body. And it's a bit faffy to do it yourself.
Yeah, but
you just stand and pin and stand and pin.
That is exactly what I did. I opened up the dart so that I could pinch away. So not using, if you do it with the dart already sewn, it's not quite accurate enough.
No.
But if you open it up and pinch, and that's how I ended up with like, oh, that is my apex. Oh well, it works.
So yeah, you can see
it's very
close. It's really nice fit, but it is quite far onto my apex.
Yeah,
and actually that's what I was thinking.
Feels nice.
I probably could carry on pinching. So this is coming along here. I could carry on pinching a centimetre maximum all the way through.
That is
so
interesting.
Yes.
Possibly slash that open, literally remove that tiny bit of length and redraw that dart, and I think it would end a little bit further.
Goodness,
I'm always amazed by these changes. They're like half a centimetre.
Yeah.
Like it's not worth doing, and actually it just changes the whole thing. Yeah.
Amazing.
Wow.
So yeah.
There you go, live hacking.
Live hacking.
Oh my god.
So good though, and I absolutely love your print on your phone.
Yeah,
so pleased with it.
Really
It's quite a bold print for me, but I think in a nice, neat little shirt.
Yeah,
it'll be a bit more
and with
fun.
plain trousers.
And I think I'll wear it a lot in winter with jumpers over the top.
Do you reckon?
Little collar. With my Roxy, I've got plans.
Yes, your black Roxy.
Yeah.
Oh, I love a little collar peeking out.
I love that. I love that. You've also
so
changed.
I've come back. I've got one more hack that I wanted to just show you. I'll come back closer. So this is totally copied from a hack that Nicole did a few years ago.
Oh, wow.
She hacked the Lulu top with the Eve sleeves to get these lovely, I feel like some of our favourite sleeves are.
Oh
yes,
the best
the
sleeve.
Eve floaty
So
summer
the
sleeves.
Lulu, just to say, she's mostly known as a dress.
Yes,
she's
sorry,
called the Lulu dress, and it has a top version, but I'd forgotten about it, for example. That it
We never talk about the Lulu
top.
but it's so wearable. And so the normal sleeves are just like straight sleeves.
Yeah.
So you can do long or you can do like cap sleeves like that.
And it's raglan, right?
And it's raglan. So I basically did, so Nicole did the hack a few years ago. I think everyone loved it. Lisa then did a hack of it in a sew-along where she explains in quite a lot of detail exactly how she changed the pattern. So I used that as really helpful. But I didn't use the Eve sleeves. I used the Isabel sleeves, which are the same effect, but they are raglan. So I had to make even fewer changes basically. But yeah, you can watch that sew-along for more information on how to do it. But I just think it's such a nice little summer top.
So beautiful.
And then I put little ties here instead of
perfect with jeans.
Easy to wear with jeans.
Very
loose,
breezy, right?
breezy.
For summer. Oh, and what is that? Is that
I don't know.
crepey?
I don't know.
I'm gonna say
It's
a crepe.
it's some pigeon wishes. I bought it at a show.
gorgeous.
I just saw it and I was like, I love that. So I've been holding on to it
That's
for the
beautiful.
perfect summer. I don't want to turn it into a dress because I feel like with white, you can't wear that then in the winter.
No, that's
You can't really wear it at tights, so I've been waiting for the perfect blouse.
amazing. And I'm gonna say quite a quick sew, right?
Quick.
Because there's no buttons, no zip. There's just a tie there, a bit of binding, which looks beautiful, by the way. Very well done.
Yeah, quick. And the sleeves, because they're just raglan sleeves, they're not tricky to insert.
No,
There's
true,
not any
because it's
setting in.
Yeah. That's a very good idea for a hack.
Excellent.
I love it. Very, very beautiful. And hopefully we've inspired you to try some hacking. I quite like the idea of like winter things turned into summer things. Dresses turned into jumpsuits. It's all very, very fun. I should say, I didn't mention it earlier, that instead of the rouleau loops for my Maeve, I did flat rectangular things.
Yes.
And that's just because my print is very loud and the rulers didn't show up. Basically, you lose them, whereas this stands.
So nice in cotton.
I do that in cotton. I
It's
think
like,
it works very well.
And have you cropped it as well?
Oh yes, I should have said that. Good point. I think I cropped it. I've lost it. Oh, I cropped it at a useful point in the pattern. As in, I remember. Yes, it's the line, the waistline. I actually cropped it further below the waistline beforehand, but then I knew I wanted to wear this top with ruby.
Yeah.
So I went by where it ends, and this just overlaps by the waistband, I think, and I'm very comfortable because it's not,
You got
showing
coverage.
any skin. I've got coverage, but it's it just looks nice. So I use the waistline on the mauve blouse. That's where I cropped it. But you could crop it anywhere really. But yeah, it's a mess. I do want to make another one, so hopefully I'll keep them safe. But yes, basically the biggest advice is toile, real toile. And also sometimes, even if something doesn't sound like it should make sense,
just try it.
if it's working on you, on your body,
Yeah.
just go with it.
Yeah.
Because the ultimate goal is to have something fit you
Yeah.
and work.
Yeah.
So
That's
I
all
just
it
got
comes
in my
down to.
head.
Yeah.
I got in my head so much. I was like, no,
Yeah.
but the theory
The
says
rules, the
that.
rules.
Yeah. And actually, if something works for you, it works for you, and that's what you want. And yeah, let us know if you've hacked any of our patterns into anything curious and unusual. Have you done sleeveless to sleeved, the other way around? Have you created jumpsuits from mashups? And anything else? Yeah, we'd love to know, and let us know in the comments, and give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and subscribe to our channel. See you again very, very soon. Bye!
Bye.